Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Ruin here, and welcome back to Manga Mondays. Hopefully, it's a Monday when I upload this. Anyways, I guess this is a podcast. I'm gonna talk about new chapters. We have a few actually that aren't in Shonen Jump, like Tensei Slime. We have one from Mieruko-chan. What else? Pseudo Harem. And of course, a few more on Jump. So, I'm gonna hop right in and let's get to it. Alright. The first series that I want to talk about is Tensei Shitaru Slime Dataken, Chapter 71. Last time we left off, our boy Rimuru finally woke up and is now a true Demon Lord. What's the difference between a true Demon Lord and a regular Demon Lord? They're about the same. They're pretty much the same. All demon lords are true demon lords, because there are some people that like to proclaim that they're demon lords, so if you're a true demon lord, that means you're recognized by the world system over there where he resides. But yeah, all demon lords are true demon lords, unless you have those stragglers. There's randoms, basically. They're saying, like, self-proclaiming, like, oh, I'm a demon lord, but you're not recognized by the world system, basically. So yeah, our boy Rimuru woke up, basically got an update saying, like, oh, what happened while I was asleep? Because last chapter he was basically upgrading, he was evolving, he had to sleep and all that jazz. And the Beastman basically is in his nation saying, like, oh, Miriam attacked us and we had to evacuate everyone while our master Carrion, right? That's his name, the lion guy, the demon lord Carrion, fought Miriam. And even then, Miriam's like, or Carrion's like, something's off with Miriam. Why is he attacking me? And that was basically it. He was saying, like, oh, something's up. And upon hearing that, Rimuru was basically like, oh yeah, that is kind of weird. Why is Miriam attacking the Beastman? And I basically put two and two together. And it's like, I'm pretty sure I know who's behind this, and it's Clayman. So now he's made the decision to basically, like, fuck this, man. I'm gonna attack. I'm gonna wage war on Clayman. So that's where we're heading after the whole big attack, the arc where his nation got attacked by his humans and his other people, his other demons that attack. Otherworlders like himself that attack his nation. And after this arc, I guess we're going to war with Clayman. That's the new arc, I guess. So he had a meeting. He had a meeting with executives, with his onis, basically. He said, like, oh, I'm gonna fight Clayman. I'm gonna wage war against him. You guys okay with it? And then his executive's like, yeah, dude, we're down. We're okay with it. If you go to war, we're going to follow you, man. You're a good leader, and we respect your decision. And what was cool was they went on right with it, without skipping a beat. It's like, okay. Especially his intelligence division. It's like, okay, we're going to look for information on intel on Clayman. And see what's up with him, what's going on, Before we go to war, we need intel. And that basically what happened during the first half of the manga. There was even a little page or two where Diablo was being taught by Shion. It's like, hey, as a secretary, you should be doing this. You should be following Rimuru's orders. And then Shuna comes in and is like, hey, Shion, didn't Rimuru give you an order? Why aren't you doing the order? I thought you're secretary. Shouldn't you be doing his orders? Just funny, because like before that, he was telling Diablo, like, hey, as a secretary, you should be doing your job, whatever Rimuru tells you. And she's kind of like procrastinating a bit. And she's like, oh, yeah, that's right. I have a job to do. They still don't know the extent of Diablo's power. I know he's strong. He's one of the top demon guys. But I'm assuming they don't know the extent of his powers yet. We'll probably find out later on, but it's been suggested that he's really powerful. So maybe during this war arc, we're gonna see more of him. And now we get to the part where Rimuru left the nation. It's basically, I need to do something. I need to get some stuff done. And he went to the cave. What is this cave? Oh, well, before that, he got in the cave, and then we see Gabiru. If you guys don't remember, Gabiru is he's a lizard man. I guess you can say lizard man. Yeah, they're lizard man that they fought with earlier. He's a dude who is a little bit full of himself. He's a little overzealous, I guess you could say. And this dude is one now. He changed. Yeah, he's a good boy now. He's doing his job pretty well. Yeah, I guess he just needed something to do to show himself. You know. Now he's here, and then he got a little promotion, man. That's pretty cool. Basically saying, Rimuru's like, hey man, you're doing a good job. Next meeting, you're an executive, so you should show up in our meetings, Mr. Executive. And then his friends and his underlings basically like, hey man, congrats boss, you got promoted. Everyone's so happy. And then Rimuru's like, hey, can you guard the cave real quick? I need to do something here. And we get to the meat of this, you know? Yeah, it's been a while. It's been like chapters. It's been so long. Basically, in the beginning, Rimuru consumed Veldora. And yes, we are getting Veldora back. But ever since he upgraded, ever since he evolved, his processing, what is it? Ever since his appraisal got upgraded, you know, I forgot the name anymore. It's Raphael something? No, it's something else. But it basically, his appraisal got upgraded. So his processing of Veldora's prison got hastened, and he was able to basically unlock the prison that Veldora is in. So we'll see here in chapter that he was able to dismantle the infinite prison. It says task complete, and he was able to release Veldora, our dragon boy. And our dragon boy Veldora has become a little more tsundere. Anyways, we see our boy Veldora back, but he's mostly spirit. Right? He doesn't have a body. Yeah, he doesn't have a body because, you know, if you guys remember, he was consumed by Rimuru. And he needs a body because without a body, he cannot focus his projection, I guess, his energy. And he'll just keep... the manga explains it as he'll just die, but he doesn't really die. He dies, but he can resurrect himself. But doesn't last long because he doesn't have an object to focus his projection to. So he'll just keep appearing, reappearing again. Think of it as like the blue dude from The Watchmen, you know? He keeps reappearing if he doesn't have anything to focus his energy on. So that's a dilemma they have right now. But the cool thing is, Rimuru provides Veldora with a clone. And since he's a true demon lord now, it's basically a higher quality clone. Yeah. And it says like, oh, here you go. You can use my clone. Oh, and he said also, it's like, oh, didn't you also get some upgrades since basically I evolve? And then he was like, oh yeah, that's right. My investigation skills upgraded to Faust now. So yeah, he got an upgrade too. But yeah, as I was saying, he got a clone, so you can use this clone to focus your projection, your energy, so you can stay in a human world or in this world much longer. And at the same time, Rimuru's like, you know, you're really powerful, so when you get on this clone, can you kind of like tone it down a bit? Because I don't want my people to get scared. Which surprised Veldora a little bit, you know? He's like, man, you know, you've grown up, man. You really are a king now. You have become king. And that was a nice little moment for them. You know, gotta be honest. In the beginning, when they showed the clone, I was like, oh, is Veldora gonna look like Rimuru? But of course, you know, when he puts his energy in his projection, basically, it wouldn't look like Rimuru anymore. It would look like Rimuru plus a little bit, plus or mostly what Veldora thinks what he looks like, you know? So, that's basically what we got. We got, even Rimuru mentioned it. It looks like me, but more manlier, you know? And then you see a little bit of little montage, little panel here and there where they're training. It's like, hey man, your energy power is still a little too high. It's still over 9,000. It's funny because it looks like he's charging up like DBZ style. Yeah, basically it's like, hey, you need to control it before we go out of this cave and go back to my country. Unbeknownst to them, in their nation, things are kind of getting hectic apparently. Ever since Veldora came out, I guess everyone sensed it. The higher beings or the executives and the people who can sense energy, and they're like, oh shit, something's going on. What's this energy presence that we're feeling? We're sensing, you know? Apparently that's wreaking havoc in his hometown. So he doesn't know it because he was in the cave. And he thought that it's being suppressed inside the cave. Apparently it's not. But our Veldora Dragon Boy is a little too powerful. Oh, also, we know a little bit more about Veldora and what he was doing while inside Rimuru. Basically, when Veldora was trapped inside Rimuru, one of the things that he did to entertain himself was peek into Rimuru's memories. And one of the things that he peeked into was the mangas that Rimuru read. So basically, our boy Veldora is a weeb now. He knows a lot about mangas and Rimuru's world apparently, and yep, our Veldora boy is a weeb now. Alright, prediction time. Next chapter, right? They're probably gonna come out of the cage. Oh no, not probably. They are gonna come out of the cave, and they're gonna see what's going on with their nation, because the people in the nation, the executives, they sense the power levels. They sense the presence of Veldora. They're probably freaking out. It's like, oh, what's this powerful presence going on? We're trying to prepare for war, and then we have this overwhelming presence nearby already. Are we gonna get attacked? We gotta prepare for war. We gotta prepare for another attack. I mean, we just got attacked, and now we gotta prepare for another one, basically. So that's why they're having a little bit of chaos going on over there. There's no definitive leader because Rimuru stepped out, but one of our horn boys should be taking care of it. But yeah, considering how they were just attacked, I guess they're kind of getting adjusted, preparing, all that jazz. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna be surprised that this overwhelming presence is just Veldora, and that Rimuru and Veldora are actually friends, actually old buddies, man. Because that's Rimuru's first friend in the new world, Veldora. So that's probably gonna happen. People are gonna be like, "Oh, that's all that was this powerful presence this whole time. It's just Veldora, you know, our king's friend." Yeah. Another thing that I'm curious about is how this is gonna affect Mirim, because Veldora is a true dragon, right? He's a dragon. He's one of the four, there's 4 dragons, right? Like each cardinal direction of the place. He's one of the dragons that controls I think the country or the continent where Rimuru's nation, all the other nation resides, right? The forest area, I think that's his domain. And I know there's other dragons in other countries, other continents, right? Veldora is a dragon. Mirim, isn't she half dragon? If I remember correctly, that's why she's super, super strong. Because she's a dragon, half dragon, and then she's also a demon lord. She's one of the strongest demon lord because of that. Because she's part dragon. You think they know each other? You know, because I don't think there's a lot of dragons. Could they be related? Could they be siblings? Maybe. I'm saying they could be related, right? The manga hasn't really mentioned any dragons. It seems like a very rare race. There's just Veldora and Mirim, and then like the other dragons. So I'm assuming there's not a lot of dragons. So it's safe to say that they probably know each other, right? So we might find that out more in the next chapter. What other prediction? We'll probably know more about Clayman. Hopefully we get more info on him next chapter, or even the religious sect in that one kingdom where he visited. Probably know more about that. Yeah, that's about it for this chapter. The main thing was we got Veldora back. Oh, and hopefully we see more Ifrit, because there's a little panel of Ifrit there when Veldora was summoned. Ifrit's still like inside Rimuru, he's still stuck there. So hopefully he gets pulled out too. I mean, we saw Veldora pulled out. I'm pretty sure we can do something about Ifrit too. I mean, pull out. Rimuru can probably like make another clone and like, hey Ifrit man, yeah, you wanna hang out with us too? I mean, you're just by yourself now there. I've evolved. I can pull you guys out. Here you go. You'll be one of my my lackeys, my underling, So yeah, hopefully we see more Ifrit or some kind of news about him next chapter. We see what the reaction of the villagers, of the executives on seeing Veldora, and we know more about Clayman and how they're gonna do the war, allies and whatnot. But for now, that's it for this chapter of Tensei Slime. On to the next series. Alright, for the next series that I want to talk about is Mieruko-chan chapter 25. If you guys didn't know, this isn't part of Weekly Shonen Jump, as you might have guessed. You're gonna have to maybe sail the high seas, or maybe find a Scanlation group to read this. It's fairly new, it's only chapter 25. You probably have to look at manga decks, check Reddit for some links. But you can read it online, it's fairly easy to find, don't worry about it. As I was saying earlier, it's one of the newer ones that are that's gaining in popularity. I believe it's rightfully earned. It's pretty good storyline, I haven't read much of a supernatural horror genre, I guess, of manga, and I think this one's pretty good if you're not that versed in horror manga. It's a good gateway, I should say. Anyways, it's been picked up. You can tell if you read the earlier chapters, it's a lot more sketchy. Now the art's a lot more polished. I guess that's what happens if your work gets picked up for a series. Anyways, chapter 25, we start off with our girls trying to get, or where Hana basically wants another one of those bunny keychains for her bag, which is funny because when you show the picture, it actually looks the same. So you're kind of looking in the perspective of Miko, and she's like, what do you mean? What's different about them? They're exactly the same. And then Hana's like, no, this one's different, see? And then you saw the picture, it's like, I don't know, I kind of agree with Hana, or Miko here. It's like, those are the same thing. So that's basically where it is. We go to this place where she lines up. Apparently it's pretty popular because there's a shit ton of people trying to get it. And while she's waiting, this creepy dude sits down next to her. Well, it's not creepy, more like mysterious, kind of weird looking at it. But before that, actually, page before that, a couple panels before that, we see more of these creatures. There's spirits that help Miko. Before, the three, they always display. They always showed like 3, and then you're done. We help you 3 times, and then that's it. She's been seeing this. I guess they look like fox spirits, aren't they? These spirits like out of the corner of her eye, and she turns around, looks at it, and they're not there anymore, but she can feel it. They're there, which is weird because I guess we're assuming that them saving her 3 times incurs more of a cost than just going to the shrine and making an offering. They need more than that apparently if they keep following her. Either that or maybe they want to protect her some more. I highly doubt that, but they're gonna appear again for sure. All right, that's my prediction for sure. Anyways, we're back to the dude. They're sitting on the bench, and then this dude sits next to her and is like, "Hey man, you want some rocks? You want some rocks?" Which is, I'm gonna assume at this point, is rocks that deter spirits. Because the old lady was selling something similar to this, and I feel like they're connected. The old lady and this emo-looking gothic dude, And he's giving away these rocks. In return, you just have to sign up on his website, Of course, a little sketchy already. Then out of nowhere, you see Hana comes back in, say like, "Oh man, they ran out of stock." And then they ran out of stock, and I don't know when they're gonna be in stock, and I have to wait again, which is funny. And because Miko is like, "Man, they're pretty much the same. I don't see any difference at all. I feel like." And then she made a comment how Hana is basically vulnerable to something like pyramid schemes. They're just trying out to get her money, based on the fact that the bunny keychain is practically the same, and she's lining up for it. People are lining up for it. People are like spending money on something that's the same. I mean, they showed this picture. It's the same. Anyways, Hana comes in, and then the dude says like, "Oh, you know what? You want these rocks? You want these rocks? I normally sell them for $500, but for you, I'll give it for free." And then we see this weird ass grotesque spirit. Man, one of the things I'm gonna say on a tangent here. One of the things that I like about the designs in this is the spirits, the monsters, the way the artist draws the spirits, the monsters is really good. I really like how he draws them. It's really nice, really memorable. Anyways, he says like, "Oh, you want some rocks? Normally give $500. For you, it's free." And that's the thing that triggers Hana. And we're like, "Oh, for free? Sketchy." And then he basically tells Miko like, "Oh, I think this is a scam. He's giving us something for free," which is funny, like this stuff where the bunny keychain, where it's basically the same and you have to line up and pay money for it, while on the other hand this dude is giving away rocks for free, and it triggers a flag suspicion on her, saying like, "Oh, I think this is a scam." I don't know, I find that funny. But we find out that the rocks are indeed effective, because the weird ass spirit that was that Miko saw, that weird ass, I don't know, man, how to describe that. You just gotta see it. It's kind of grotesque, not gonna lie. The rocks actually work, and then our suspicion that this dude, creepy dude that can see spirits, he actually can. And this occupied Miko's head, of course. It was like, "Oh, another one that can see spirits like me, and not just the little tsundere girl. There's another one that can see spirits." And since the dude, showed his website, she's been kind of like, should I sign up for this website? I really have no way of contacting him besides this. And since he was right that the stone actually worked, maybe I should see him again. So that's where we're basically at in this chapter. Miko basically deciding to contact our emo goth dude. Emo goth dude. So probably most likely we're gonna see him next chapter. I gotta say though, a lot of themes on this manga is not everything is what it seems. Don't judge a book by its cover. Whatever other saying that you're familiar with, because they like to misdirect you. They've done it a couple times already, like with a teacher who was very stoic. They thought it was a teacher that was torturing and killing cats. As it turns out, he wasn't. He was actually saving these cats. He was when he was a kid. He was actually taking care of them. It was his mom that was killing the cats and all that stuff. And now we see, or other stuff too, where misdirection they did in this manga was the spirit, where it's actually oh, you know what? Okay. I guess I'll spoil a little bit, but there's a few moments, not just once. I guess twice or three times they've done it already, where they've done it in a different way. So it'll get you. But basically, at one point, there was this kid who tripped, or basically was gonna hurt himself. It looks like an average kid, you know, almost like Sixth Sense, the movie in a way. This kid who was gonna injure himself, and she thought the same thing too. I thought the same thing too as a reader. You know, the trip, and then she reacted. It's like, oh, you're gonna hurt yourself, basically. And then the kid was like, gotcha, I'm a ghost, bitch. Oh man, that was creepy on our part. That must have been scary on our part, and I was surprised in that part too, reading that. It's like, man, these ghosts are smart as fuck, trying to get you. Basically, once they find out that you can see them, man, they try to attack you. They try to find ways, basically, you know, interact with you, because it's like, oh, you can see me. You're a medium, you know. It just makes me wonder. I hope they tackle it in the future on how she's been going through this, because as far as I can tell, I think she can see ghosts for a while now. And I'm sure that wasn't the first time. It's happened multiple times where she saw what seems to be a normal person. It turns out to be a ghost. So hopefully we get more of that plot-wise. Since a lot of the more recent chapters are heavy on the plot. A little less on just the scary parts, on just to scare you, jump scare you, and mess with your head. And more of a lot of plot-heavy stuff recently. So that's cool. So my prediction for next chapter, Miko will end up find a way to talk to, or at least see the goth dude, the emo goth dude, and say like, oh, so you can actually see ghosts? You know, someone who's not as tsundere as our tsundere blonde girl. I'm gonna assume she's blonde, because tsundere is said to be blonde in anime, and then mangas and whatnot. Because the tsundere chick is the same as her. She can see ghosts, but she doesn't recognize how strong Miko is and to what extent she can see ghosts. Like, she can see ghosts, but Miko can see the ghost behind the ghost, you know? If the tsundere chick can see the little ghosts in the background, Miko can see like, oh, that little ghost that you can see, those are just the minions, you know? She can see the big ass ghost that's actually controlling the little ghost. So it's nice to see that for her, that she can actually meet someone on her same wavelength, or at least understand what she's going through in a more serious manner, and not more of like a rival in a way, because the tsundere kind of sees her as a rival, but I don't think Miko sees her like takes her seriously in a way. Also, I believe we might see more of the grandma next chapter or the following chapters, because last time we saw her, she saw the picture, the shrine picture. Someone sent it to her. That's why I think the one that sent her the picture might have been our emo goth dude. Basically, the emo goth dude could be the student of her grandma before, or it could be someone that she knew or met, like Miko, like the paths crossed back then. That could be what happened. That could be their backstory. But I'm gonna assume we're gonna see more of the grandma soon, because she was in the mountains in the provinces, and I'm pretty sure she left. She's gonna look for the girl, because she's back in business. that was basically what she said. And then Miko, like I said earlier, Miko's gonna find a dude, and we'll get more plot. Maybe we'll get more of the spirits, the fox spirits, the shrine spirits, and I'm gonna assume they're ominous. But this manga likes to throw you in a loop, because their main theme for this is not everything is what it seems. Don't judge a book by its cover. So you could be proven wrong, but I feel like the main bad guys for now at this point are the fox spirits, because they want some more kind of payment. You know, even though she mentioned like, oh, I think I need to go back to the shrine. and go back to the shrine and do another offering, because that's what she did. She did an offering, and the fox spirits helped her. It's like, okay, thanks for the offering. We're gonna protect you 3 times. You know, I feel like the minute that she gets back there, they might take her offering, but not just any offering, but her as the offering, you know? Because she's a powerful medium, and usually in these kind of lores, they tend to consume powerful mediums. They tend to use mediums as their food supply kind of thing, because they're psychic, so they feed off that energy. I'm just gonna assume, based on that lore, that they're gonna be the main antagonists for this arc, this upcoming chapters. But for now, that's Mieruko-chan chapter 25. You can read it on Manga Dex. You can search it up, Google it. It'll be on Reddit. But go ahead and give it a read, guys. It's pretty good. And hopping on to the next series. The next series I want to talk about is Pseudo Harem chapter 93. If you guys don't know, Pseudo Harem is about this couple. You know how usually romance stories, it usually stops to the point where once the other person confesses, the girl or the guy, usually the series ends. This one, it goes beyond that. After the confession, we see their lives day to day, and I think that's one of the main appeals for this series. You know, we see what happens throughout the relationship, how it grows. We see how the obstacles that they face, and also it's freaking cute as but it's like super fluffy, which is pretty much appropriate for times nowadays. The times recently got these protests, we got this COVID-19 going on, we got this blatant corruption and disregard for responsibilities of our government officials. So you know what, and the cool thing about it's only 4 pages. You know, if you say you don't have time, it's only 4 pages long, and that's more than enough actually to inject this fluff into your veins, as they would say. Because really, let's give it a try. It's cute as fuck. Anyways, in this chapter, our girl, she's been kind of worried because she thinks that her boyfriend AG is super popular in college, because the guy's a year older than her. He graduated already. He's in college and been talking. And ever since they went shopping for clothes for him, I guess people are starting to notice. Or I guess she assumed. She assumed he's popular in his school. And so this chapter, they're talking. They're having a Skype call. And she's saying like, oh, tomorrow I have no classes, basically, because it's the school's anniversary, founder's anniversary. And then he's like, can I see you? She said, like, can I see you after class? And he was like, I can't, actually have a club meeting after. And it's like, oh, that's sad. And then AG's like, oh, you know what? Why don't you go to my classes instead? I'll sneak you in. And it surprises her. I'm like, oh, you know what? Yeah, that's a good idea. And she was super excited. And then she started thinking like, oh, but it's scary, because I'm sneaking in. I'm not a student. Oh, but then I get to see if he's really popular with the girls there. Oh, but then I get to hang out with him. So she started showing these emotions on her face, because she's really expressive. It's one of the main positive points about her. That's why it's called Pseudo Harem, because it's not really. AG doesn't really have a harem. It's more of they're in acting group, and she's basically one of the actresses, and she's really good at expressing and doing characters. So that's why it's called Pseudo Harem. Anyway, she started expressing her face, and all in the meantime, AG's just watching her. It's like, oh, you're really cute. You're still expressive as ever. And of course, the blush, all that stuff. And then she got embarrassed. She turned off her camera because she blushed too much. But yeah, all I'm saying is Pseudo Harem chapter 91. It's cute as fuck, man. If you guys need a little bit of pick me up, you guys should read this. I have much to say. It's 4 pages. Just read it. It's that good. Alright, now that those chapters are out of the way, we can finally focus on the series that are in Shonen Jump. But for these following chapters, I'm just gonna rapid fire them because these are the chapters the nothing really too significant happened. For example, Black Clover chapter 252. It's basically just a continuation of last chapter where they're fighting the one of the triads, the girl. What was her name? Vanica, right? Yeah, Vanica. So it's just continuing off there. It's at that point of the fight where basically like, oh, you think this is my final form? No, this is my final form. It's at that stage still, you know, everyone's just one-upping one another. It's like, oh, that's it? And then, no, actually, that's not it. This is my next form. This is my upgrade, you know. It's at that stage of the fight, so nothing too significant to talk about. Nothing noteworthy. Except maybe Lolopechka, the queen of Heart Kingdom. We find out that apparently all the previous queens, they get the knowledge. They gain the knowledge from the previous queens, the previous rulers, and so that's basically what she did. So it's like Vanica was like talking about combining the tree with the darkness magic and stuff like that, and the light tree with the darkness magic. What do they mean by that? So she had to search this massive information in her head or some kind of magic container, but basically she was phased out for a couple of seconds there, and they're just looking at her like, what are you doing? And then she find out that this has happened before, or at least there's some precedent of something similar where they were able to combine the light tree with dark magic, and they were able to open a portal through hell, and there were some messed up things that happened apparently, and the humanity was almost extinct. And we find out the main reason for the bad guys why they want to do this is because no surprise, everyone was too weak. They need a challenge, so they want the demons to come out so they get to fight them, and they get to fight like all the other strong humans, and then they want to rule. But we already know these kind of things, it's gonna bite them in the ass because of their arrogance. If it does go through, they're gonna think that they're powerful when in fact the demons are actually much more powerful, and then they're just gonna get their ass kicked, and they're gonna regret it, they're gonna die, you know, usual stuff. But yeah, that's when we found out Lolopechka apparently has some access to some information, knowledge from previous Heart Kingdom. She knows what's gonna happen if it goes through the Triad's plan. So she went serious mode, but of course there's gonna be a couple more chapters, maybe one or two. Black Clover doesn't really like dragging it. It's pretty fast paced in these kind of things. Basically she went serious mode. She's water type. She did water prison basically, and then we see one of the girls that was with her got mana armor, mermaid mode. So you know, plot armor. Yeah, plot armor. And that was it for Black Clover. We expect more fighting next chapter, but I don't think it'll drag out anytime soon. Just based on how Black Clover is, they tend to move fast. Pacing is pretty fast in this series. So next series, here's another short one. Bone Collection Chapter 5. I know I said previously that my predictions for the next chapter will be that the dude that was gonna try to assassinate our MC here, our main character, is gonna change their mind once they realize how useful he is, how good he is. He's gonna change his mind, and then he's gonna put him under his wing and train him. My prediction was not correct, but it was close. I predicted way ahead, I guess. It didn't happen in this chapter, but it will. Looks like it happened in the next chapter, because what happened is in this chapter, one of the four kings basically said, I need you to hunt this S rank yokai, and if you beat it,
then maybe I'll think about not killing you. So yeah, I was partly right. I'm pretty sure that's where it's gonna go. He's our MC. He's gonna find a way to beat this level S yokai, and then one of his 4 kings is gonna be impressed, and he's gonna take him under his wing. But that's not even a big surprise of this chapter. I know I said under his wing. We find out that this king is actually a queen. And not queen as in gay, but it's like Biscuit from One Piece. By the way, I'm still not reading One Piece. It's still one arc. Yeah, it's like Biscuit. That's actually not the dude, but sort of like a projection and armor. The real king, or I'd say queen, is this little girl, and she thinks, she considers the MC's girl, the future wife, to be best friend, because apparently during times when our future wife, our MC's future wife, what's her name again? Pyra. Yeah, Pyra. Apparently back then when Pyra was kind of bored, she would try to go to the human world, but she was unsuccessful, so she only like half her body showing, half her spirit body, and she would go to the arcade and try to like look at people and how they act, and she'd try to play games. That's where she originally met this kid Abe, right? And basically they play arcade together, and they would fight, they would spar. I guess you could call it sparring. Like Abe was like, hey, you made my friend cry from arcade and whatnot, so since she can see ghosts and paranormal spirits and all that jazz, she would fight him, and then I guess after a while she considered them best friends, right? So that's one of the twists in this chapters. And then we find out Abe apparently knows a lot more about our MC than MC does, because she basically said, yeah, I need you to hunt this S rank yokai for me, even though a while ago you're kind of having a hard time with this A rank yokai that I was using to kind of bait you. Yeah, hunt the S rank, and if you beat it, maybe I won't assassinate you, and then I'll talk to the other kings, to the whole organization, to not maybe kill you, Because and by the way, you don't even know how your power works. Do you even know why your hair keeps growing longer every time you use your powers? So basically, yeah, she knows a few more things than our MC, our main character knows. So that'd be interesting to know in the future. And another cliffhanger, another bit of tidbit, since we're in the topic of best friends forever. Apparently, the S rank yokai that they need to hunt is Pyra's yokai BFF. That's basically where it stands. I'm kind of excited about this. I want to see where it goes. And in the general thing, generally speaking, this series is nothing too unique. We've seen these before, kind of gag manga, yokai and all that stuff. Exorcist kind of thing. It may go the distance. It's kind of enjoyable so far. It's not bad. We'll see how it goes. So far, I like the beats of the pacing. It's pretty quick. It's pretty funny. So I'm kind of hoping it does well. We'll see more plot. But yeah, this is a short one. Can't really say much about it. Next chapter, we'll see Pyra's BFF, and I'll go to the next series. Undead Unluck, chapter 18. Alright, starting off, first page, we found a little bit more about the power of our Unluck lady here. We know she has a baseline of the amount of unluckiness, of bad luck she can give to people, and it gets more effective and more intense the more she likes a person. But the first page of this recent chapter, we find out that apparently the more she hates a person, the less effective it is, and it looks like it takes forever to take into effect. We might not even know what's the outcome, because when she was trying to activate her powers to basically cast bad luck on our boy Andy here, or Victor, the group were saying like, how long are we supposed to wait until the bad luck happens? And she was like, I don't know. I've never tried on someone I really hate before. So if they could probably experiment it later on, that would be nice. We can find out more about it. But as now, since they're in the middle of battle, they don't have the time. They don't have the time to be experimenting and whatnot. So, but we did find out that the more she hates a person, it seems like the longer for it to take into effect, and as well as maybe the less effective it is. Maybe we'll know. What if it has an opposite effect? You know, the more she hates a person, the longer it activates, and instead of giving bad luck, it gives them good luck. We don't know that because we don't even know if it activated because they were just waiting. Right? So that was the first page. We find that out. It's like, oh, okay, so that's one of her rules. And then, of course, Victor was like, oh, okay, what are you doing? I'm just gonna kill you. And she tries to kill the girl. I don't know why she just not try to kill her. I mean, she's attached to him. I mean, at first he tried to do it with his clones. But of course, the squad tries to stop him. You know, try to attack him when he was trying to kill the girl. But I mean, these are really that hard to kill Fuko when she's just right there. I mean, you can just slam your face. You can just slam yourself, if anything, on the floor. You probably knock her unconscious, or jump really high like what he did with Decay in space. I'm pretty sure he can get away. But it seems like at this moment, plot armor. He was having a hard time getting rid of Fuko. Even though I guess because the other executives, the other group members are there. But basically, our girl Fuko found a way. It's like, hey, you know what? Andy's in there somewhere, and she remembered like, oh yeah, or she remembered that she had a gun in her pocket from a previous chapter. So I'm like, yeah, I have this gun, and she shot the where the scar is, and she says like, oh, I know Andy's there because that's where you usually insert the card. So seeing how Victor and Andy switch, I'm gonna assume Andy is in there somewhere. So she shot the head, and then the scar formed because, you know, bullet, big ass, probably 50 cal shot. It was a deagle. I'm gonna assume it's a deagle. It's a big ass gun. You know, shot at his head, and our boy Andy came back for a bit, and it's like, hey, look at you, badass girl. Well, she is. She's a pretty good MC here. And of course, after that, she was like, oh, Andy's back, and she always got lovey-dovey again, and she kissed him, and then of course, since, you know, her feelings came back, it's gonna be one hell of a bad luck. It seems like her limit breaker for bad luck is a meteor shower, because at this point we see another meteor shower, and it totally messed up Victor. I mean, come on, it's a meteor shower. And then Victor, on a couple pages here later, admitting defeat. So, you know what? It's been a while since someone beat me. Besides the container lady, the shield lady. So, you know what? It's been a while. So, it's cool. We see him admitting that, like, yeah, bad luck girl is pretty good. Beat me. You know, my only concern is, what about the villagers? Weren't the villagers, even though they're zombified, weren't they still in the area? Weren't they? What about the kids? The kids were in the bunker, and that place, the village, the area has been fucking destroyed. They got craters. I mean, it's a meteor shower. So, I don't know if the kids are still alive. But, final pages. Basically, Andy is all messed up because Victor is gone. They switch again. Andy took over, and his body's all messed up. And we know he's not as adept at regenerating, so he's still kind of burnt. And it's like, hey, you're one hell of a gal. And then, you know, Fuku has a card and stabbed his forehead. And then I guess everything's back to normal in the next chapter. Although I do wish it kind of dragged out for one or two more chapters. I kind of want to see what Victor is all about. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I just feel like he's just warming up, you know? Like, it's been a while. Okay, I'm just going to fight a bit. And then little by little he's getting the hang of it again, his powers and all that, not all that stuff, because he's fighting the group. He gets back into corner. I'm pretty sure you're gonna see more of his powers and all that jazz. So I was kind of excited to see a little bit more of that. Maybe chapter 2 here, but I guess we save those for later when the series isn't doing so well. Those kind of hype moments, I guess. But yeah, it seems like next chapter everything will be back to normal, and we'll see the fate of the kids and the village. See if anyone survive. I highly doubt it, unless they're gonna explain it somehow. But that's it for Undead Unluck, chapter 18. My Hero Academia chapter 273 is hype, boys. It's super hype. Lefting up previous chapter, we have the aftermath of Shigi waking up. Oh man, the art is amazing on the last page. And it's getting ahead of myself. Aftermath of Shigi awakening, he did his explosion. He touched everything. Everything was turning to dust. Deku tried to counter it with a wave. The explosion, oncoming explosion, didn't do so well. See everyone trying to run away. See everyone trying to run away. We see Shigi's minion. As I said earlier, he woke up. So the heroes is once again gonna have their hands full. We don't even know how many people survive. We don't know if our bunny lady survived. She was super hurt, man. She was fighting all those Nomus. But I think pretty much all the Nomus are dead. A lot of heroes died. I guess that's one of the reasons why their base is underground. The enemies, the villains. I think a lot of them are still alive, considering how Shigi's attack pretty much just decimated like above ground, the mountain and whatnot. I think the villains are probably still have a second wave incoming, but that's pretty much want to say, because holy crap, the last page is hype as fuck, man. You know why? Because it's Endeavor versus Shigi, my man. Endeavor versus Shigi. Oh, and Toga was did a bit of a rampage there, but it's kind of overshadowed, man. Look at that! Look at that page. The final 2 pages, the 2 spreader, man. Look at Shigi. He looks fucking amazing, and he's gonna fight Endeavor next chapter. Hopefully no flashbacks, no whatever, nothing. No blue balling us here. But I wonder how it's gonna work though, because Shigi's power works with him touching things, right? And he's kind of worse matched with Endeavor here, because Endeavor doesn't really need to be in contact with him. Yeah. Ultimately, he's a ranged fighter, right? You can just blast him with fire. Can he decay fire? I mean, can he even do such a thing? Like when Shigi decays fire, does it loses oxygen and does it just die? Is that how his power works with the fire? Because I don't think, as long as he can't touch Endeavor has advantage. So he can touch the ground, and then if the ground touches Endeavor, then Endeavor can get hurt and very likely die. But all Endeavor needs to do is stay off the ground, stay off whatever Shigi is touching. I mean, Shigi's power is not instantaneous. When he touches it, it's not like almost instantly anything in an area is decayed or destroyed. It's like a wave almost, there's a bit of delay. It's like it comes from him, and then a surrounding wave, everything gets destroyed. So I don't know, I'm confident that Endeavor has the advantage, but I feel like they will double team Endeavor instead, because Shigi's the giant dude, his name escapes me. He's woken up, he stood up, so I'm pretty sure he's the one that's gonna reel in Endeavor, because that giant dude is strong. So I'm pretty sure he's a melee guy. I'm pretty sure he can match Endeavor, and if anything, Dabi's there, some of the other executives are there. They could gangbang Endeavor for all I know. I feel like, we've said it before. There's some death flags afoot with Endeavor. I'm pretty sure he might die, quite possibly, in this arc. Trying to fight Shiggy, and then it could be his All Might moment. When All Might first fought One for All. No, I mean the All for One. I messed up the. But yeah, when he got injured, or the last time he fought All for One, when he got injured on his kidneys or his lungs or whatever, that could be Endeavor's moment. But instead of surviving, he could just die, and it could backfire in a way for villains. We get a surge of heroes, kind of thing. We still haven't seen what happened to Genius. I'm pretty sure Genius got turned into a Nomu. But I'm really getting ahead of myself on these predictions. But I feel like he will die soon. He'll die to Shiggy, to Shigaraki. But yeah, Shiggy versus Endeavor hype. Next chapter, boys. Get on it. That's all I have to say for this chapter. My Hero Academia 273. I'm paraphrasing a bit of a quote here, but someone once said, that any type of really advanced technology is pretty much indistinguishable to magic, and I think it applies a bit here in Mashle Magic Chapter 17. Now, what the hell am I talking about with that quote? Well, basically, previous chapter, our boy Mash, stumbled upon the Lang dorm, and then he broke a door, and he was kind of giving shade to the dude. It's like, hey, you're talking to a doll, dude. And then he's like, oh, thanks for letting me know that. He thought he was being sarcastic and all that stuff. But, they got to talking, they got to monologuing, and then basically the dude's like, man, give me your coin. You don't deserve to be the divine vessel of God. It's like, you don't deserve that. You don't deserve to be a divine visionary. And then Mash's like, why? Why do you want to be a divine visionary? You know why I want to be a divine visionary? Mash goes basically because I just want to live a carefree life with my dad. Because as we know, he's a first person, I guess, that they know of that doesn't use magic. But I'm kind of like predicting that he actually can use magic. He's super OP. That's why he's it seems like he's not using magic, but he's actually super magical, and it's ingrained to him. It doesn't seem like magic. That's where the quote came from, but also another point I'll say later on. Anyways, sidetrack, tangent. Basically he's saying the Lang dude, I just want to live a carefree life with my dad, and the dude's like, man, that's nonsense. I should be the divine. I should be a divine visionary. You know why? Because people are weak. This is the same old thing about bad guys want to get rid of the weak people, which they don't understand. But that kind of logic, you don't stay powerful for long, and if you rule by the sword, you die by the sword. So by allowing that kind of law, you're not gonna stay strong forever. Someone's gonna kill your ass, especially if that's a kind of law that you've established. The strong rule and then the weak follow kind of thing. Someone's gonna be eventually gonna be more powerful than you, and you're gonna have to bend the knee, and then what then? You're gonna be on the side of you're gonna be the other guy now who's like, hey man, that's unfair, So I don't know, it's always weird. People do that. I still don't get why people do that. Even in real life, people who are very elitists. Anyways, that one's a sidetrack. That one's on that one's on a tangent. Basically, that's what he was saying. I'm tired of humans being weak. We're stagnating. We need to bring back the rule of the strong, the rule of might, kind of thing. Because we are beasts by nature. We advance because we fight and all that stuff. We we do advance a lot during war, but a lot of those because of necessity. You know, we kind of like, we need to do this, and so we kind of do a lot of unethical things during war. But that's his plan, the bad guy's plan. And then, as usual, our boy Mash, you know, he flips it around nonchalantly, and then flipping on its head and throwing it back to our bad guy, and basically saying like, "Oh, so you too want to live a carefree life?" You know, this kind of thing is kind of like struck a nerve with the bad guy. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I don't want to live a carefree life. I want to rule the weak. You know? So, he said that, and then he did kind of get pissed. The guy got pissed, and then one of his bullies that got turned into a puppet attacked Mash. And Mash, being OP as it is, because this guy's basically Saitama in a Harry Potter parody. It is what it is. I mean, you can quote me on that. This is a Harry Potter parody, and Saitama is our main our MC character. I got attacked, and then got appropriately body slammed and knocked out. So we got our bad guy Lang use one of his summons, a jester puppet that tries to steal, and I meant this as try, because he tried to steal the coin. But we find out later on that it wasn't the coin that he stole. It wasn't the coin that he got from Mash, but instead a big old button from his clown, from his puppet. And then we get a man, guys, read this. This series is pretty funny as fuck, man. Basically, we get a backstage pass, a behind the scenes, you would say, where we see how in the world did the coin turn to a button. How did he do that? How did he do the switcheroo? How did Mash do that? Well, basically, Mash did the big old suck, you know. When the puppet was gonna throw the coin, you know, he did a big old suck, or he grabbed in a blink of an eye, he grabbed the button from the puppet, and then he spit it out of the coin. He intercepted the coin, and then while it was intercepted, it's flipping the other way. It took the button took over the projectile path of the coin. The coin on another path. He started the big old suck. He sucked the coin. So that's how he got it. And the funny thing is, you know, he used only the power of his lungs. He did a big old suck. I know I like to keep saying big old suck, but man, just read it. Especially this spread right here. It's funny as fuck. And then one of the minions of Lang Dude, he's like, I saw that, right? She was the one actually explaining it, because she saw the whole thing. She saw it transpire, basically how it all went down. And she was like, I saw it happen, but I still can't believe it. I mean, that really happened, right? He didn't use magic. He just sucked it. And that's where another part of the beginning quote I was getting to, you know? He's so powerful. I mean, he's so OP. Is it really this indistinguishable? You know, I mean, at what point can it still be considered magic? I mean, it might as well be magic to some eyes, to other people's eyes. You know, their perspective, because it's OP as fuck. But it's funny. You guys should read it. And that's Mashle Magic Muscle Chapter 17. Time Paradox Ghostwriter Chapter 3. For this chapter, I guess the art is good. No, I'm just kidding. This series is seriously warming up to me chapter by chapter, and it's only chapter 3. I really like, one of the things I really like about this is how our MC has a lot of internal monologues, a lot of introspection, and I really dig that. It's a cool thing to have for the main character, to see how their mind works, especially something as serious as plagiarism, especially in the field of arts and whatnot. So it's nice to see that perspective and see how our main character's head work. Good stuff. Anyways, chapter 3. Look at the page we left off, where Itsuki showed up. That's where the cliffhanger ended, and now we have our MC who's like, oh, it's the real one. It's the real one. She traveled wherever she traveled from all this way. We know she traveled pretty far because she has a briefcase right there. And he's all surprised and whatnot. And she showed up with the original White Knight manuscript, you know? Can you read this? And he started reading it. And our guy is making a comparison from the Shonen Jump 10 years later, the one that he got from his microwave oven, and the one that Itsuki handed to him. And it's not the same, or it's not as good, but it's pretty much the same. So, you know, he's pretty much confirmed in his head. It's like, yeah, this is the artist. I'm done for. I really did plagiarize that shit. That wasn't part of my dream at all. And out of nowhere, Aino pulls out a pen. Not just any pen. It's G pen. You know, I didn't know anything about this. Usually I thought G pens or those kind of pens are for like, what do you call that thing? Calligraphy? Yeah. Calligraphy pen. And I like the little fun fact they put in there that, manga artists are traditional, or like, it's mostly used by manga artists now because a lot of things are digital, all that stuff. And then people who use it usually get stabbed. So they're saying where they actually put blood in their art and kind of stuff. I thought that was a nice little fun fact they put in there. But of course, our MC being a nervous wreck, being confirmed that he actually did plagiarize that shit. You know, it's like, okay, I really can't deny this any further. It's not really a dream. If I can plagiarize the shit out of that. You know, he's a nervous wreck. And then he thought that, I'm going to assume this is he's the MC. This is in his perspective, you know. She pulled out a G pen, him knowing that it can stab people because it's sharp and it has stabbed people before. You know, he got scared. He thought that she was gonna stab him because, like, oh no, she knows that I plagiarized her shit. She knows that I plagiarized White Knight and that stuff. So he got scared and he tries to run away. And now we get all these panels of him trying to run away. And while he shouts like, "Don't do this! You have a bright future ahead of you." You know, it's kind of weird, or without thinking about it, and just hearing that, like, some people would say like, "Oh yeah, you're young, you have a bright future ahead of you," but to him, it has a different meaning because he knows that she'll be she's gonna write a famous series one day, and she's like, "No, don't stab me. You have a really bright future someday." I thought that was pretty funny. And of course, our girl here caught up to him and then mounted him because, you know, he has to trip and fall. He has to. He else is not gonna catch up on him. And then pointed that G pen right on his eye. You know, he thought it was gonna stab him in the eye, but he was able to stop her. It's like, "Hey, don't stab me." And then she was like, "What do you mean? I'm just trying to show you my pen, because I don't think you're taking me seriously. You know, it's like, that's why I showed you my manuscript. You know, I did those for real." And then I'm trying to show you my pen. Like, look how worn out it is. And then we actually see it. It's like, oh yeah, it's all messed up. She was serious about writing those manuscript and the White Knight and what's not. And then we get a confession. The truth comes out, but then I kind of expected it that she won't believe it right away. But I also kind of expected it. You know, if you're kind of like at least a little bit curious. I'm like, nah, it's not real. But unless, you know, like, you gotta see it at least. You know, like, I don't believe you, but I'm also a skeptical kind of guy. You know, can I see? You know, that kind of thing. I'm surprised she wasn't. You know, like, of course, initially you're not gonna believe that shit. Like, yeah, sure, time machine, microwave oven.
you got my manuscript from 10 years. Sure, man. You trying to pull my leg here? I want to see. I want to see if you're lying, kind of thing, you know? I'm surprised she didn't do that, but I kind of expected her not to believe it right away. But in an unexpected twist, instead, they bonded on the feelings of emptiness, you know? Because she asked him, like, is there anything that only you can draw on this whole thing? Like, only you can draw. What's unique about you? Which is a very, in my opinion, it's a very heavy question in a way. Right? It's like, what's you? It's a heavy question. It's a generic question as well. You know, you're trying to sum up yourself and something so small when you're worth more than that. So it's always a weird question when people ask that. And they also talked about it. It's like, it's always weird when they ask questionnaires when you try to turn in your work online. And so they ask you that. So they talked about it. And once again, like I said earlier, one of the things I like about this manga and our MC is his inner monologues and the way his mind works. And basically, he had a moment of introspection here. It's like, yeah, it's a bit of a curse, right? Well, what is it that only I can do? It's like, how do I answer something like that? You know? And he said, and he had a little bit of flashbacks. And then he said, nothing, man. I'm an empty person, man. I just want to draw manga, you know? I'm empty. I don't know. I'm just an empty person inside. And the girl can relate, you know? It's like, I just want to draw manga, you know? People bully me and shit, but I still want to draw manga for them because I want them to enjoy my work. Kind of thing. So, I guess that was a catalyst for them to bond over. And not just the manga as well. So yeah, I thought that was cool. So I thought in a way, if she hasn't showed her manuscript, I was kind of thinking that for a way the plagiarism to work is he'll be the face of it. He'll draw the art, but then she'll end up doing the story. But it looks like she's doing the drawing as well, like when she showed the manuscript to him. So, and we find out like the next page after, like, yeah, you know what, you're right, we're the same person, you know, we're both empty inside. We just want to create stuff that people would like, that we would like, kind of thing, you know. So instead of having a waifu partner, I guess you should say, we're gonna have waifu rivals, you know. And she was like, you know what, go do your thing, keep doing White Knight. I'm gonna write an even better series. Yeah, so we have a waifu rival, guys. So now the question remains is that plagiarism. You know, it's still hanging there. You know, even though he tried to tell the truth, she didn't believe him. So that thing is gonna come bite her in the ass. Gonna come bite him in the ass. I mean, is once she actually finds out that he wasn't lying, it's like, yeah, I'm getting manga from 10 years in the future. You know, and told you, he didn't want to believe me. My question is, since she's gonna try and write a new series, what's gonna happen to the manga that's been coming to his house? Will it stop, or will it be like how he explained it previous chapter? It's an alternate timeline kind of deal, you know. So these kinds of timey-wimey these timey-wimey scenarios is usually kind of sketch, but we're assuming it's a different timeline. But we'll see in the future, the next chapters, the following chapters, if it'll stop, because she decided that she's not gonna write manga anymore, maybe. And what about the other series? I mean, White Knight shouldn't be the only one that's good there. I'm pretty sure there are other series that are pretty good. Maybe he'll write about them too. I don't know. I doubt it, because considering how the plagiarism thing is really eating at his mind. He's a good boy after all, so it's kind of like eating at him. It's like, man, I don't want to do this. The thing is, how he's gonna move on from this. Is he gonna keep using
using the Shonen Jump from the future as reference, or is he gonna copy it like beat by beat on the story? Because the old school manuscript, the OG manuscript that Itsuki has, it's not as good, but it's there. So the ones in the future is of course more polished. Is he gonna keep copying that beat by beat, or is his morals gonna eat at him, and then he's just gonna slowly get away from it and possibly having the series suffer, or is he gonna keep copying? I don't know. That's his dilemma for now. How is he gonna move forward from that? And as for a girl, her MC rival Itsuki, I know we'll see what kind of new series she's gonna do. Because she says it nonchalantly. Like, you know what? I'm just gonna make another series. This whole hard work that I did in White Knight. Never mind. I'll just write another one. She's so nonchalant about it, not knowing that was her actual work. When she finds out that that's her actual work from the future being plagiarized today, how do you think she'll react? I'm kind of interested in that, because I think this series is more of character studies in a way, because we've seen a lot of inner monologue of our main character here, so I'm kind of excited to see more of her perspective, kind of deal. And also how the series progressed. So far I don't see the longevity of the series, but we'll see. It's nice to be proven wrong. Okay, read more of this, but for now, that's Time Paradox Ghostwriter Chapter 3. Alright, Chainsaw Man Chapter 71. Every time I read Chainsaw Man, every time I read chapters of it, I keep asking myself, like, how is something like this in Shonen Jump, in weekly Shonen Jump, The story by itself seems more fitting in a seinen manga, rather than seeing it in weekly Shonen Jump. But here it is, man. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. It's the dark horse of weekly Shonen Jump, and I wouldn't be surprised if in the future, only time can tell, if it outranks the big three at the moment. Maybe even One Piece. You never know. One Piece is ending soon. I don't know how long Chainsaw Man's gonna keep going, but there's a big possibility for it to outrank One Piece in the future. I know. Bold claims, but that's just how much I like the story. Anyways, this chapter is pretty sweet and somber. You could say it's bittersweet, I guess. But we had a lot of growth between our characters. We've seen the aftermath, because the arc is wrapping up. So we see how it affects our characters here. And the good thing is, our author dedicated a chapter here to see how our boys are doing, how our characters are doing, how it affected them, and they don't jump in right away to the next arc where everything's fine already. We see some growth, basically. We see some growth. Anyways, before I jump into this chapter, which is, like I said, pretty bittersweet, let's go to something more lighthearted. They did a popularity poll. And funny thing is, Power's first, considering this chapter is about Power and how they massacred her. She basically has PTSD. But if you guys see Kobeni here, Kobeni, man, Kobeni never catch a break, man. She's the runt of the group. I like to think she always get teased and bullied, even in popularity poll. Even the readers know she's basically 8th in popularity poll. And you know who's 7th in popularity poll? It's her car. She got beaten by her own car. And surprisingly, Denji's not first. I think that's just a testament to how good this series is. When your MC is not even top, you have such good characters, such great characters actually, that your main character is not even first, and I'm okay with it. To have your main character not first and be fine with it, I think I'm okay with it. Funny thing is, a couple of these characters are dead. Spoiler. That's why you guys should read it. Like, for example, Race. You know? The only girl that actually gave Makima some competition. Fucking Makima killed her, man. Because of what she did. That's a good arc, too. Power is pretty much PTSD'd. I'll get into that. And Himeno, basically the first girl that gave him Denji the vomit kiss. She's fucking dead. I'm surprised the 10th guy, Yoshida, he's here. He's the dude that went toe-to-toe, well, almost toe-to-toe with Kwanzi. Not serious form, of course, just a human form. She's fighting. They're almost matching in speed, but he was taking it seriously, but Kwanzi's just like, oh, okay, I'm just, not even my true form right now, just regular form. I'm surprised he reached 10. Anyways, let's jump into the chapter. Chapter 10 for Chainsaw Man, titled Bath. The first page we see Denji and Power waking up and they're snuggling in bed, or Power is cuddling Denji, and then how Denji was saying, man, I didn't even get enough sleep. Power was screaming throughout the night. Like I said, with the battle with the Darkness Devil, we see a lot of the aftermath. One of them being PTSD with Power. She's having these attacks. And we see Aki with how they all had their arms cut off. We see Aki here. He's missing an arm. So he got one of his arms attached at least. And Denji was saying, like, hey, at least you got one of your arms back. At least you can cook and stuff. You can still do something compared to the other ones. Like, and then we find out that Angel didn't get his arm back. He's armless, and we lost Violence and Shark. Man, we lost Beam. Beam is dead. Our boy, our royal horse is dead, man. So we can't do Sharknado anymore. So Violence is dead. Our boy Shark is dead. So, and Kobeni, we find out, turned in her resignation. So she quit. We know she quit not because of what happened to Darkness Devil, the fight. I think we all know she quit because she lost popularity poll to her car. That's the truth. That's my mind lore. And we see the sadness keeps on going. We see Power wakes up and she started thrashing around. She started shouting like, Darkness Devil is out to get me, and then there's something in my mouth. There's something in my mouth. She's basically crying and shouting, something in my mouth. Is it the Darkness Devil? It's like, no, you're fine. Then she goes, there's nothing there. It's like, no, you're a liar. No, the Darkness Devil is watching me. It's like, no, dude, you want to eat? Okay. Basically, this whole page is Denji is stuck in babysitting duty with Power. Power's been Power's been turned into little kid. She's all scared all the time. She needs to be taken care of. Like I said, PTSD, and she still hates vegetables. She vomited it out. We also find out that Makima's good. She got her arms back even after fighting Darkness Devil. We still don't know what the fuck Makima is. She's strong as fuck. I'm assuming she's in cahoots with one of the primal devils. I don't know, but she's strong enough to fight them toe to toe for a few seconds at least. And then they were talking. It's been a flashback. Hey, have you visited Aki in the hospital? It's like, yeah, I didn't want to eat, so I ate his food. Our boy is very practical like that. And then Makima's like, hey, you just, since everyone's kind of recovering and whatnot, do you just want to go to Chip? Us too? Wink, wink. And our boy's like, of course, he wants that. He wants to date Makima, man. He wants to tap that ass. His needs are simple. His dreams are simple. It all started with the boob touch. And now he wants, of course, that's one of his dreams, to be with a girl like Makima. And even though he was close with Ray's, we miss Ray's, right, guys? Yes, we do. He said, yeah, I'll go. Let's go on the trip. And then, he remembers, like, I gotta take care of Power, man. Out of all the chapters, this is the first time that he said no to Makima. And that's some growth, man. That's some character growth right there. He understands, like, man, Aki, he only has one arm. And Power is, like, kind of, useless right now. She needs my help. Aki needs my help. We can go to the trip later on. So even Aki, when Denji mentioned this to Aki when they're eating, he says like, why didn't you go? It's like, I don't know, man. So even Denji himself was questioning himself, like, I don't know why I didn't go. But we all know because it's character growth. Our boy's growing. He's mentioned before that he doesn't have, he seems to be losing his humanity. But he's not, man. If anything, this made him seem more human, to be honest. Taking care of his family. See more panels of him taking care of Power. Partner's like, hey, I need to use the restroom. Can you stay with me? It escalates. Can you feed me? Can you check the bathroom? Someone's there? Can check the this and that? Can you go to the bathroom with me? And then I'm scared to take a bathroom by myself. Can you shower with me? As I mentioned before, like I asked myself, like, how is something like this in Shonen Jump? Well, the next panel is basically them naked, taking a shower together, and it's funny because something like this is usually like fan servicey, and it doesn't feel that way. It seems kind of sad actually. Power being stubborn and selfish and cocky and all that stuff, and annoying and funny, and she's been reduced to this. She's really vulnerable right now, and the fact that Denji stayed to help her, and how this panel right here, full page panel where they're naked, and the next page after that, or a couple pages after that, where they're in the same bathtub together, and it doesn't feel quite a bit, not a least bit naughty at all, not a least bit erotic at all. It's, it's a bit of a testament to our author right here, And even Denji mentioned it, because when they're in the bathtub together, and basically, in bathtub together, Denji's like, man, this should feel naughty, this should feel erotic right now, but it doesn't, and it's weird. And it's funny because when Power said naughty, and immediately like she got triggered. It's like, I hate naughty things. I'm scared. I guess she remembered like fucking the fucking darkness devil again. That's why, like I said, this chapter is sweet and somber at the same time. And you can see more. Their relationship right now is more like siblings, which is funny because the author is the same person who did Fire Punch, and we know what happened there in Fire Punch, the first few chapters with the siblings. So we see Denji trying to dress Power up, and they're sleeping, and then Aki's like, "Hey, we'll take turns taking care of Power. If she starts trashing around, we'll switch, and so you can get sleep." I was mentioning earlier, he didn't get enough sleep. And we see here some character growth for Power, because like, Denji, don't hate me. Old Power would never do that. Old Power would always deflect and say, that's not me. I mean, she still kind of did it here. It's like, hey, I didn't hit you. It's like, apologize to me when you hit me with the car. It's like, no one would do that. But then she goes like, okay, I'll allow you to drink my blood. And that's a big thing. That's a big thing for Power. Power is selfish as shit. Before she always mentions like, oh, I'm gonna drink your blood, Denji, or I'm gonna drink your blood. She tries to drink whoever's blood, but this time she's she's actually offering her blood to Denji to make it up to her. So I think that's a big thing. I think some people might brush that off, but I think that's a big thing for Power. Some character growth. And it's like, okay, fine. I'll drink some of your blood. And then the next panel is pretty erotic. The way it was drawn. You know, that leg lock and all that stuff. And then we get a little bit of internal monologue from Denji again, saying like, man, I thought that when you know someone, like Makima said, like the more you know someone, it's supposed to feel naughtier when you do intimate stuff. But as he was sucking the blood from Power, he was like, no, it doesn't feel this way. It doesn't feel hot at all. And then he gets more into internal monologue. Like the previous chapter with the old man where he put in, I forgot his name, one of the strongest demon hunter. At the end of the previous chapter where they were putting blindfold as Makima kills Kwanzi. You know, he's like, ignorance is bliss, or he chose to be ignorant at this moment because he knows he's fucked already. We see a little bit of that. I guess it's a bit of a theme going on. We see a bit of that with Denji. He says like, if I knew the circumstances of the people that are trying to kill me, if I knew what they're going through, then maybe I would have had a harder time retaliating. I would have a harder time killing them. I would have second guessed myself. I would have doubted, and I probably would have felt like crap when they died. You know. So he's basically internalizing the things that happened to him and says like, I guess sometimes it's better to stay in the dark. It's better to be ignorant at times. You know, sometimes ignorance is bliss. And then basically the last panel is him. We go back to plot here and saying like, you know what, Pochita, you're right. Whatever is that door inside me, the one we've seen before, like, whatever happens, don't open this door. You know? And he was like, you know what, you're right. Whatever's behind this door, I don't need to know it now. You know, as of yet. As of right now, after everything that happened, you know what, I don't need to know it now. And I think that's warranted. Especially all the things that happened recently. I'm pretty sure he's not going to abandon that. The author's not going to abandon that. That's a pretty big thing. A pretty big piece of puzzle for Denji. For Chainsaw Man. But as of right now, ignorance is bliss right now. So, that's a great chapter. It's a lot of great chapters with Chainsaw Man. And that's it for Chainsaw Man. Chapter 71. You got a lot of character growth. I really like this chapter. Yeah, we see some character growth for Denji as well as Power. I mean, Denji said no to Makima, dude. And then Power offered her blood. Those are big things. And we see aftermath from fighting Darkness Devil. Kobeni quit. Aki lost his arm. He didn't get all his arms back, so he's pretty much useless now for devil hunting. I like how the author didn't just brush aside the aftermath of fighting with one of the big primordial devils. Yeah, usually some shonen mangas we'll see like, okay, some recovering. We don't see much of the psychological side, I guess I'm trying to say. Some of the series usually just like, okay, I'm recovered physically, I can fight again, kind of thing. We don't really see how the internal struggles, which is nice that he did it here, you know, see in something like Power. Yeah, I'm excited for the next chapter, and I'm gonna say it again. Chainsaw Man is it's Shonen Jump's dark horse, and I wouldn't be surprised if it overtakes One Piece someday. But that's about it. That's it for this week's Manga Mondays podcast, even though it's already Tuesday, I think. Yeah, it's Tuesday, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to upload it by tonight. Maybe tomorrow. It's gonna be Manga Mondays and Wednesdays again. Anyways, thanks for stopping by, guys, and hopefully I finish this next week. It'll be on a Monday. Watch out. I'll have a new video, another video. It won't be a podcast this time. It'll be a Games with Gold. We have Destroy All Humans free. So I'm going to be playing that. And then I'm going to stream it, hopefully. Check all my socials. Subscribe if you haven't. And check Mixer. Check my Mixer, mixer.com/RUUIN. That's Ruin. And maybe Twitch too. I'm barely active there, mostly Mixer. And because I'm using, what do you call this? I'm using a Restream. So, yeah, I guess, yeah. When I stream on Mixer, I stream on Twitch as well. Anyways, that's it for now. Catch you guys in the next video. Ruin out.